Assalamu alaikum, dear friends. How are you? I welcome you here on my training channel. My name is Abdul Khalik. Dear friends, look, many of the societies, including the countries like Pakistan and others, there is very weak system of government, very weak system of justice. And due to a host of other reasons, many of the people who should have developed, should have prospered, they remain in trouble. Their struggle does not yield much than mere survival. I'm not talking about each and everyone else. Of course, there are people who have developed, there are people who are developing, but maybe some extraordinary sort of either talents or mindset is needed. An extraordinary mindset is needed. Extraordinarily practical mindset is needed, of course, to develop. So, my dear friends and fellows, what this extraordinary mindset could be, what kind of either the capabilities, the temperament, the lifestyle, the kind of attitudes are needed to keep developing, to keep prospering. Dear friends and fellows, as the things are very complicated, the things are rather very deceptive here. I don't mean that the society is bad, but of course you need to be. You need to do something really extra. That's only you can keep surviving, keep improving, and of course to keep developing. Certain things will be of great help in a situation like this one. Even the people living in the developed societies, for those people too, whatever I am going to share here, these things will be of great use even to the people living in the prosperous developed societies. But of course, it is extremely relevant here in a society like that of Pakistan. Certain attitudes, please keep noting. First of all, it is to somehow remain mindful. Mindfulness is the first thing. The mindfulness and the meditation means not to overthink at all. Not to overthink at all, as the overthinking is extremely dangerous indeed. And to be able to avoid that overthinking, all what is needed here is that we need to be develop the mindfulness and of course the meditation. We need to meditate, I think, at least twice a day. Once in the morning, at least for 30 to 40 minutes, and then for another time in the evening Another 30 to 40 minutes of meditation are direly needed. So that is the one thing, the mindfulness and the meditation. And then the very next step, that is, it is it is the empowered state of mind. Keep your mind in an empowered state. If at all we are disempowered, if we are having a disempowered state of mind, obviously it is going to be very, very bad indeed, and it is going to be the biggest ever disadvantage. So, keeping in view all that, I think that we need to keep ourselves in an empowered state of mind. Empowered state of mind. Never ever lose hope at all, and never give up. Never lose hope and never give up. This is the second thing, accompanied by the self compassion. The self compassion, keeping yourself in an empowered state of mind. Never ever lose hope and never ever give up, but practice the self compassion. Self compassion, empowered state of mind on the one hand, never lose hope, never give up on the one hand, and of course practicing the self compassion on the other hand. Practicing the self compassion on the other hand, once we are talking about the empowered state of mind, it will be good and great indeed if at all we are visualizing it. We are daydreaming and we are visualizing. Visualization, definitely something great indeed. And dear friends, now at the third stage, or the third thing we need to simultaneously practice is the brainstorming. The brainstorming and the journaling. The brainstorming and the journaling, the two of these things, that is on the third thing. We need to write. We need to write in the diary. We need to rather write it on our mind and heart, because nothing is as important as the three of these things. And after all that, the fourth is also coming, and the fourth is that we need to practice the self discipline, the self control. Never ever practice, never ever follow your impulses at all. Learn to manage, learn to control, learn to resist the impulses, and then cleansing ourselves of all the things we have been doing, we might do on impulses. So we need to stop doing whatever type of gratification. The gratification which we want to do must be stopped, of course, and it must be delayed as much as you can. Delaying the gratification controlling the impulses and delaying the gratification, something very, very important indeed. Controlling the impulses and delaying the gratification, that is very, very important indeed. So, dear friends, also we need to do, we need to make it a firm habit of our that we will be doing the unpleasant things, the difficult things, and of course the things which makes us feel afraid, where there is uncertainty, instability, and wherever there is a risk factor. We need to do the things which are not as easy to do, not as easy to do. On the one hand, we have not without any sort of conflict with another person. On the other hand, the things which are difficulty, but we are in conflict with someone else. I think that we need to develop a strong mind. We need to have a very strong mind, and as a result of this strong mind, we should be able to resist our own impulses on the one hand, and then of course on the other hand we need to do another thing, and that other thing is called being in conflict with someone else. Not to be afraid of, not to be afraid of being in conflict with someone else at all, rather having the gut, having the courage to be somehow not unnecessarily fight with anyone else, but somehow being a fighter, that is something really good, and that is something really great. My dear friends and fellows, these are the things which I think that we must make as a very firm habit of our. And let me have a very, very quick revision of all that. First of all, it is that try to keep your mind empty, not to clutter your mind, not to overthink. Rather, what is needed is that practicing the mindfulness and practicing the meditation, that is the number one thing. And the number two thing is, my dear friends and fellows, that we need to keep ourselves in an empowered state of mind. We need to somehow always be hopeful, never lose the hope, and never give up. Rather be very much resolute. And as far being that much resolute is concerned, being that much of hopeful is concerned, being that much empowered state of mind is concerned, I believe that this thing really will keep us afloat. But and then there are certain other things as well, my dear friends and fellows. I believe and I think that we need to visualize. Visualizing something, that is really important, and very, very important indeed. Because as for this visualization, as for this daydreaming is concerned, I think it will go right into our subconscious mind, and it will program our mind. So, dear friends and fellows, these are the two things. While the third one is that we need to do the brainstorming, and of course the journaling. The brainstorming and the journaling as a third thing, and of course the fourth thing is that we need to resist our impulses, and we need to delay the gratification. Resisting our impulses, delaying the gratification, and doing the things which are unpleasant, which are difficult, which are worrisome. I think we must be doing these things, because the agenda of the success is not a very simple one. Of course, it need a lot of courage. Of course, it need a lot of strength. And without that much of the courage and the strength, it is not possible to do those things at all. So my dear friends and fellows, these are the few things I think we must be doing, because if at all we want to succeed, if at all we want to live a happy life, these are all things which are very, very important. Now, after that, I think we must be setting the short term goals and the long term goals. The goal setting, the planning, and the goal setting. The goal setting is very, very important, because if at all we don't have the goals, it actually means that we don't have the direction. If at all we are a directionless person, it actually means that we are spoiling all the talents we are having, all the capabilities we are having are being spoiled for the one reason, and the one reason is that we don't have any direction, we don't have the plan, we don't have the short term goals, we don't have the long term goals. As for the goals are concerned, I think the goals keep us charged, keep us motivated, because all of these goals must be the goals which can bring lot of improvement and lot of betterment and lot of well-being in our life. So I think whatever type of agenda we have discussed here in our today's discussion, all of that is highly useful, all of that is highly beneficial for all the people who are ambitious enough, for all the people who want to live a good life, for all the people who want to put their name amongst the successful people. Apparently, this might seem a bit lengthy. Actually, it is not a lengthy agenda at all. Rather, it is the most concise one. Simply, I need to add one more thing. That one more thing is called the self compassion. What is this self compassion? Self compassion actually means that every time we fail, every time we feel we suffer a setback, every time we are feeling ourselves as inadequate, we need to become warm, we need to become understanding toward ourselves, and that is called the self compassion. Of course, the self compassion is needed. One more term which I have used here, that is the mindfulness. What is this mindfulness? It is rather on the top of the agenda, and the mindfulness mean, this mindfulness mean that a person, it is a state of mind, a state of mind achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment, a state of mind achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment, while letting your feelings, your thoughts and bodily sensations, then calmly acknowledging and accepting. Let's begin it from the zero. That this mindfulness actually mean that this mindfulness actually mean a state of mind achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment, while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations. All of that used as a therapeutic technique. Dear friends and fellows, we have talked a little bit in detail what is needed here in a society like that of our, in a society like that of Pakistan. Whatever is needed to become a successful person, whatever is needed to lead a healthy, happy, and a successful life, that is, I think, a very, very solid agenda. Each one of us need to understand it, each one of us need to follow it. Thank you very much.